Inside of this video, I'm bringing you a Crusader build. And yes, I know you're saying, Echo, you switched back to Barbarian, you didn't love the Crusader, but that does not mean that I can't bring you the best builds for all classes inside of the game. Because I am friendly with Why Try from the Revenant's Discord server, I was able to get the footage and the build that I'm sharing with all of you right here today, as well as his notes, so that we can make sure that you all understand exactly how to play this build. I'll be leaving the notes to the build in the description, as well as the link to his Revenant's Discord server after or when we get towards the end of this video. But first, let's dive in over to the actual build, starting with the skills. Starting things off, as you can see, we are using draw and quarter, and as I am told, draw and quarter is being used bare. Keep in mind that this is a build that's made for dungeons. Specifically for dungeons inside of Diablo Immortal. It can also be used in hidden lairs, but it is all about bringing the enemies together and then doing the damage once they are all close. Draw and quarter is a great way to do that. Plus, it's a movement skill. It gets you out of the way or into harm's way as quickly as you can. We have Condemn as the second skill. Moving forward, of course, Holy Banner, so that you are everyone's favorite teammate to play with, and then Falling Sword. And as you can see, the primary attack that is being used here is Sacred Fire. Remember, all the skills for these builds are unlocked as you progress through the game. But now we're going to get into some of the gear. We're going to start off with the, I believe, secondary gear. Remember, the secondary gear is the green stuff. At the point that this was recorded, 15 was the max level, but now that has been bumped up to level 20. So keep that in mind as we progress through. The first is going to be a a 4-piece of Vathus. That's going to increase the duration of all beneficial effects on you or your party members by 30%, and it's going to increase the target's attack speed by 30% for 3 seconds each time you use a skill to grant a beneficial effect to you or your party member. This is a must-use for Crusader because of Holy Banner. I believe that's why it's in there. What is the other piece, though? Remember, you need 4 pieces to have all of that come to life. But the 2-piece set that you need is going to be Grace of the Flagellant. All continual damage, channeled damage, and persistent ground damage are increased by 15%. So now that you know what to wear in green, your secondary gear, we can move on over to the primaries. And the gems that he's using, he's going with a rank 10, Everlasting Torment. These are awakened slots, at least the ones that we see in purple. He's a big believer in going with 1 and 2 star gems to unlock the awakening. And let's see what the actual legendary piece is right here. It's Commander. The inspiration from Holy Banner now moves with you. Holy Banner cooldown is reduced by 7.2%, and then an additional 10% because of the awakening. So being able to take Holy Banner with you allows you to take the fight buff along with you. A rank 10 Pain Clasp 2-star gem inside of this one with the Vortex Legendary Essence. Condemn now continuously drags enemies towards you. So remember, we talked about how this is just bringing everything all together. This is bringing the enemies towards you, and the damage is increased by 18%, but that's not all. This is an awakened slot, so it's another 10% for a total of 28% damage increase. Yeah, it's impressive, I know. Moving forward with the shoulders, he's got a rank 10, 2-star Fervent Fang. Remember, you get Fervent Fang gems from the Battle Pass or from the Boon of Plenty. And over here, the Holy Banner Legendary Essence duration is increased by 39%, but then it's awakened as well, increasing it for another 10%, giving you a nearly 50%, a 49% to be exact, duration in cooldown decrease, which is impressive because Holy Banner is literally something that you want to have up as long as possible. He's rocking a rank 7 5-star Blood-Soaked Jade in his pants, and his pants are using the Condemn radius is increased by 29%. So it's just bigger space for Condemn. makes a lot of sense. Now, this is a over 800 Paragon account, so there are going to be 8 weapon or 8 gear slots. Remember, if you're below 800, you have 6 slots available, but the 800 Paragon unlocks stances, which are another 2 right there above my head. It's going to give you a little bit more gem resonance and other things. This has a 4 out of 5 star rank 7 Seeping Bile, and the legendary essence Sacred Fire now also hurls waves of flame, dealing 3,000 damage to all enemies in their path. Damage is increased by 90%. Moving on to the secondary, we have a rank 6 4 out of 5 star Bottled Hope, another great gem, one that I don't have. Enemies defeated within Holy Banner extends the remaining duration by 0.3 seconds up to a maximum of 5.7 seconds. So again, extending Holy Banner. Very wise choice. And look at how impressive his gear is. His new stance gear is level 28 and 27. I'll be honest, I'm impressed with that. He's coming on in with his second primary with a rank 10 1 star Blessed Pebble, which is actually a gem that I'm considering using for my Barbarian, by the way. And this one, the legendary essence is Blade Storm. Falling Sword now summons a storm of blades around you, continually damaging all nearby enemies, but can no longer be activated again for movement. Falling Sword damage is increased by 18%, and the cooldown is decreased by 10% because of that awakened slot. Now to the second and final piece of gear, the secondary, which is a rank 4, 2 out of 5 star Gloom Cask. Very unique to this build. And that's a very attainable one as well, by the way. Holy Banner now also reduces continual damage taken from allies by 40%, and the cooldown is reduced by 3.6. I hope you all noticed here that nothing was put in place for Draw and Quarter. Absolutely nothing. So what that means to me is Draw and Quarter is solely for movement, as well as for the ability to pull everything together the way it was initially intended. But we are going to get back to some footage right here as we kind of watch this all in action, and as well get into his notes and talk about why this is so good. Again, the notes will be down below. This build is primarily for dungeons only. It would work in hidden lairs too, but focuses on gathering mobs together and killing everything at once. Most dungeons have a lot of stuff that can be skipped entirely, but every dungeon has certain mobs that need to be killed to progress further. The blues, the yellows he's talking about essentially. This is a great for both speed and has the ability to gather the mobs together that need to be killed. Really speeds up any dungeon. We're using the barebone version of Draw and Quarter. No legendary essence are needed for it. This gives a speed boost to quickly get from one objective point to the next, and more importantly also gives us the drag ability. As you can see, this can be utilized in many different areas of various dungeons to quickly group mobs together and to spread apart from any AoE for even for a long pull and drag some elites with you where you need to be. Once you pulled everything together, pop Holy Banner, followed by Condemn to drag everything even closer, then Falling Sword on top of it all, and my god, that sounds like just a lot of damage if you ask me. Alright, we're also using Everlasting Torment, which is essential to this build. Yes, a 1-star gem is essential. This is because the gem applies a DOT to each enemy where you hit a crit. When you have Holy Banner up, it's all crits, every attack. The secondary effect of the gem gives you an attack speed bonus of 6% at rank 10 for each nearby enemy that has the DOT applied to them. Well, thanks to the gathering skills, everything is near us, because remember, we just spoke of how everything is pulled in together. There's a cap on attack speed, however, which is plus 100%, and we're getting 30% from a 4-piece Vathu, which we use Banner with the Lust Titanic offhand, which makes it a party buff. So if you have a group of 11 to 12 mobs, pop Banner, Condemn, and Falling Sword, which can instantly crit everything, applying Everlasting Torment DOT, and put you at the max 100% attack speed. There's actually a lot of potential diversity with this build as well. A lot of these essences can be changed, and it doesn't affect the overall efficiency of the build too much. Even my 2-piece Grace set here could probably be better replaced with a 2-piece Banquet, boosting all damage that he deals, not just continual damage effects, just using what he already had. Main idea is grouping and then take everything down at once with a crazy high burst of damage. For raids, we'd want to change out Draw and Quarter for sure sense movement isn't really needed. A good alternative would be Conjuration of Light with the Justice without Favor chest piece to give yourself another solid party buff, triggering 4-piece Vithus yet again as well. Here are a couple of tips that he gave for us. Awakening the head and shoulder slots with both will both give us 10% reduced dandruff, but he was kidding. Instead, he means 10% cooldown reduction for Holy Banner, allowing for more frequent casts. I love how he put a little bit of a joke inside of his tips and tricks portion here. Necks, rings, and gloves can all have up to 5% reduced skill cooldowns, as well as allowing more frequent uses for all skills. And beneficial effect duration everywhere you can will greatly help here with Draw and Quarter and Holy Banner 2. Can get this stat on chest, pants, belt, and boots, as well as reforged a stat on all 8 pieces of gear. That is the build. Whether you love a Crusader or not, this is a solid build that is really focused on team. So if you're someone that loves doing dungeons and you're diving into them every single day, and you want to have a party and you want to be the one that everyone loves, this is the Crusader build that you should consider using. Give it a try. Let me know in the comments section below if you like it. And if you have a build that you want featured on the channel, well, speak up, come through the Discord, hit me up on Twitter or in the comments below, and we could possibly feature your build next. Of course, you need to be at or above Paragon level, so we know you're legit. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider subscribing for videos every single day in Diablo Immortal. And thanks again to Why Try. Don't forget to go check him out in his Revenant's Discord server. And when you do, make sure you tag me, say what's up, and I'll say hi back.